All right, you guys, welcome back to episode 4 for this evening on what you should and shouldn't do, part 2. So, if you are a partner at a law firm, or maybe you own a law firm and you get a case that you're handling on the behalf of a professional basketball team, you should make sure that all information that you put in writing is truthful and accurate. For example, if you state one of the reasons why someone was fired from the organization was because they exaggerated their experience, were never qualified to be in the role at all, and it was immediately apparent that they were out of their depth and weren't qualified for the role. And within the first 30, 60, 90 days, it was abundantly clear that that person was unqualified, because that is what one of the law firms that represented this professional basketball team put in writing and said about me. But again, if you are a partner at a law firm, or you own the law firm, or you're just someone that works at a pretty big law firm that handles employment discrimination and things of that, and employment law and things of that nature, you should make sure that everything that you put in writing is accurate. Now, again, because the Attorney General's office didn't do a thorough investigation, the Phoenix Suns of Phoenix Mercury didn't know what documentation that I actually had. So, when your law firm puts in writing that I exaggerated my experience, it was never qualified, and it was abundantly clear, it is quite curious when I can produce my quarterly annual review, which occurred, I think, only 60 days after I started working there, maybe 90 days. It's been 3 years, so I don't fully remember, but it was either within the first 60 or 90 days. And in that quarterly review, I got the highest marks that you could get. And the one mark that was below the highest mark was actually PowerPoint, Word, Microsoft Word, sorry, PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, and Microsoft Office suites. And I just got the one below. There was a 4-tier ranking, and on everything else, I got the highest mark that you could get. I was given a lot of high praise, and my boss praised the work that I did, and she marked me high across the board, except for one notch below, because she told me at the time, I always believe that there's things that you should strive for. So I gave you that one low on that one because I know that you're really good with PowerPoint and Microsoft Office Suite. So when I have that piece of documentation that already shows that your client lied or you helped them lie, which in legalese, that's bad. That is wildly unacceptable, especially if you're representing a professional basketball team. So already right there, it doesn't make sense. But again, it's because the Attorney General's office didn't do a thorough investigation. So they didn't know what documentation I had. So they manufactured a lie. Whether their client made that lie up, if you are still a prominent law firm, you should do your due diligence and ensure that everything that you put into writing is accurate, rather than just letting your client lie about why they fired you. Now, again, I don't know why they made that lie up, just like I don't know why they made up the lie about the MLK Day of Service being a horrible event and I was yelling, cussing, and screaming at kids. I don't know why they made these lies up. But what I believe, and in my personal opinion, they made these lies up because they didn't think I had any documentation to back up what was saying was true. And they were trying to make me feel bad about myself. They were trying to put me in my place. And of course, trying to make it to where no one would ever want to hire me again. But the problem becomes when you are in real life litigation, like what you are with me, you should not be doing stuff like that. And you should hire a law firm that will do their due diligence rather than put nonsense like that in there when the person that you are in litigation with can produce documentation to be like, yeah, that's not true. See, here's my quarterly review with the numerical score value and rankings and the verbal descriptions of how well I was doing and how good of a job I was doing and how they couldn't wait to see more of my work. I think that this whole experience with the Phoenix Suns and Mercury is wildly unacceptable, and I'm going to keep talking about it because they just feel like because they're rich and powerful, they could scare me or shame me into being quiet, and I will not be quiet because justice is more important to me.